Welcome to Southwest Montgomery County Chamber of Commerce Business Brief. We have a guest today, Pastor Kenny with Living Stones Church, and we're going to be talking about some projects that he's got that is kind of near and dear to my heart a little bit. I'm Skip Colvin. I'm the chair-elect for the Chamber of Commerce, and we look forward to hearing about what Kenny's got going on. So, Kenny, why don't you introduce yourself?
I'm Kenny Martin. I pastor Living Stones Church. I'm a retired sergeant with the Houston Police Department.
Yeah.
And been living out here in Magnolia since '94.
Right. Tell them where your church is located, just so everybody knows.
We're on Peden Road, which is between Magnolia and Tomball, the Decker Prairie area, where Hardin Store comes into 249, the new McDonald's. That becomes Decker Prairie Road. The second street is Peden. Take a left, and we're right there on the right.
Yeah, good. And I've known Pastor Kenny for maybe a couple of years now. We do some work with you at the bank, and so for those of you that don't know, I'm the president for Texas Regional Bank here in Montgomery County, and so we've done some work with Kenny. And Kenny was telling me about this new opportunity to work with veterans, and not just veterans, but also single mothers that need some help and assistance. And he's created this new nonprofit that is going to help support and I guess educate and house and give some medical stuff to those in need. Do you want to talk a little bit about what you're planning on doing?
Sure. It all started as a police officer. I met a policeman who was in Desert Storm. And, you know, military guys, you see death and dying in deployment, and you come back and you say you're okay, but to reacculate into society, you drink to put up with the PTSD you dealt with. As a cop, you see nobody calls you because their wife goes to Walmart at 10 o'clock at night and everything's fine. She's missing. So you see the bad of everything, so you drink more. And through the drinking, it cost him his family, his job, his livelihood. And then I found him in a bumper pull trailer with a tarp over the top of it, and he needed detox. And I tried to get him hooked up. We got him a $3,900 voucher with the city, tried to find a detox center. There was nothing.
So anywhere in this area, there's not a detox center?
No, now there's one in the field store area,
Okay.
but it is on backlog.
Okay.
So they're few and far between. And you go to the city of Houston, which is about to be the third largest city in the state of or in the United States. How do you find something that's available? We found one, $5,800. I asked him if he took the voucher. He said no. And I said, he doesn't have two raw nickels to rub together. His first comment was, don't you and your buddies have money? Well, now it becomes, medical becomes financial. And if I can't make any money off of it, then are we really helping people? So I set out to try to get a detox center built. And through that, I had a pastor that I met when I was 19 in the 5th Ward. He's a black pastor in the 5th Ward. And his vision was to see his community changed. And so he went and got grants, raised money, bought these shotgun houses, bulldozed them down, and he helped the community. He's now built the 3-story retirement home with the very first sit-down restaurant in the 5th Ward.
Wow.
He told me his goal was to ride a bicycle from 5th Ward to downtown Houston, and it'd be crime-free.
Okay.
So my vision as a church was the same thing. What are we doing to help our community? I've got no problems going on foreign missions. However, we have people living in Montgomery County, Magnolia, Texas, that we wouldn't put our dog in a home of that nature. Why can't we help the people that are around us? And so my vision was the detox center, and to then build a sober home. I want to get tiny homes. There is a community that we're looking at right now. I have 2 real estate people looking at it. It's been abandoned for almost 12 months. It used to be a drug haven, so you know God's always good at taking the things that were evil and turning them for good.
Right. And that property is close by?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
It's right around the corner from the church.
Okay.
It has 80 different spots. And I
But this
wanna
wouldn't be owned by the church. This would be
No.
owned by
It would be a
another-
separate entity. I've
Yeah.
made we've started our own 501c3
Okay.
so that it's separate from the church, but it is Christ-centered and Christ-driven.
Yeah.
I want to be able to give these guys a home that's theirs. And then I met a woman that lives in her car in downtown Magnolia with 2 teenage girls. And they sleep in a parking lot of a gas station because the manager will leave the outside bathroom door open for them.
Wow.
And they will then
Keep going. Keep
they
going.
will then use the bathroom, and they shower or they bathe in it before they go. And you know as
And
well
that's
as
here
I do-
local.
Yeah.
I mean, that's.
And you know as well as I do,
Kinda
kids
hits
are
home.
evil. And if they find out another kid is living in a car, you know what kind of garbage they're going to go through.
Right. Right.
Well, I want to give them that home, let them stay there, help them, teach them life skills,
Okay.
then get them ready to get a job. And in that life skills would be budgeting. So they'll learn how to budget. And in budgeting, you know, they'll be able to give back, but yet I want to put them forward. So the community, we've got an idea, nothing's finalized right now, but the community would be called Stepping Stones Community. So my goal is to see people step forward off my shoulders, not from the ground.
Okay, let's roll back just a little bit. I want to make sure everybody's understanding. So, the idea is, and what's the name of your new nonprofit?
A living house.
Living House. So, Living House is looking to purchase this property, specifically to build some tiny homes. It has a home on it, so you would renovate that home.
Well, no, that's a separate piece of property,
Okay.
so it'll be 2 different pieces of property. The house that we're looking at for the detox center sits on 2 acres.
Okay.
And it has the ability we can go in and add on to it right away. And the plans are, we've got an architect looking at the plans now to build a wing off of it where we'll have 8 hospitals type rooms on one side of the hall, 8 on the other, 2 stories. So we could do 32 beds almost immediately with that house. That'll
Right.
be the detox center. I have a board member who served in Afghanistan and Iraq, and he said we need to have purpose for these guys.
Right.
The
Right.
purpose that he had that got him through on the 5th time going through a rehab was weeding his mother's flower bed and picking cucumbers.
Yeah.
Because it gave him purpose.
So just to make sure, we're 2 projects.
Right.
One is the house with the land, the detox center.
Right, and the other one's the
that would be
land
to build
with
some
the-
other rooms, and then the other one is land that you would put tiny homes on, and that's
Yeah.
the stepping stone.
Right.
Right. Okay. Good.
So we'd be full circle. Once they get out of detox, they go through a program. They get a sober house to live in. They have purpose. There's a whole lot of vision that God's given me, but one of the things is to help children also. We have children that qualify for free breakfast and free lunch. And what do they do during the summertime? What do they do during the winter break? Well, on that piece of property, I want to build an outdoor kitchen with a warehouse where we can take these guys and put them in a van, and they'll serve if the families want those meals also. Then we can go out and serve breakfast, come back and serve lunch, so that their purpose is helping kids. Now they have a purpose, a reason to keep going.
Yeah. A great partnership that you should think about is Society of Samaritans, which I think has done a podcast with the Chamber also, and they help provide food for those kids you're talking about. Well, not just food for the kids,
yeah,
but
it's called
families too.
It's called the Snack Shack, and I was instrumental in starting that. I was on the board with SOS when we started that. But I
Okay.
want hot meals. I want them already cooked. It's great to be able to give them those things, but you got second grade turnkey kids. So that means in the second grade at 6 and 7 years old, they're cooking their own meal unless they're eating bologna sandwiches.
Yeah.
So one of the things that I want to see is bring them hot meals.
Right.
Because if they qualify for free meals, then this is they get those 2 hot meals. But yeah, it's going to be full circle. Everybody helping everybody, and it makes society what God intended it to be.
Yeah. So all of this is really close proximity to your church. So, you know, obviously your ministry at the church, this is kind of one is called as a pastor, you know, your purpose, you would say, is sharing the gospel and helping other people. This house that you're talking about, that would be a detox center. That's obviously a scenario where you can have a facility where people can come in that are addicts that are they specific to veterans, or is that detox open to anybody?
No, it's open to anybody.
Okay.
We see a lot of the PTSD is military, police, fire. They deal with this on a daily basis, and if they're not getting the help, and we have this stigma of, if I reach out for help, they're going to think I'm broke and I can't do my job, so they don't reach out, and they'll just go deeper into the bottle. I say that from experience. I worked the Fifth Ward in the 80s.
Yeah.
So it is to get people to realize it's not what society says you are, it's what God says you are, and there's no person that doesn't deserve a second chance. There's no person that doesn't need to realize what God thinks of them.
Yeah.
And he loves them, and he loves them where they are, but he loves them so much he doesn't want to leave them there.
Yeah. So, Pastor Kenny, let's talk about the services at the detox. Not only is it detox, but it's going to be some other maybe mental health services we talked about. What else are you doing in the detox program that people need to know about?
Well, we're gonna try to work. We work with Adult Teen Challenge, but I have somebody on my board that their heart is to do a outpatient program where they might not need that in-house program, that they can actually come to.
You mean mental health, or you mean
Yes,
physical? Okay, mental health. Okay.
Yeah, to help them get through life experiences. They don't need to check in and go through a 6 months to a year in-house.
Yeah.
They can do this on an outpatient basis. So there's room for advancement there. We're still in the process of looking at how does that look like, what would that entail, what do we need to do from there. But the first step is detox. We've got it. No program will touch anybody unless they've been detoxed.
And then I think you told me that you were working with an organization that's kind of done this nationwide to set this mental health counseling and programs up. You want to talk a little bit about
Sure.
that?
In searching, because when I became a pastor, I knew people were going to come to me and they were going to ask for counseling. Well, I don't know anything about counseling. So I reached out. I found a biblical Christian counseling that I went and trained at. So the same way with this, how do I do this? Well, in my searching, I found a corporation that comes from the Carolinas that they're consultants. Once we secure the property, they're going to come in and they'll show us exactly what needs to be done, what needs to happen, so that we can form medically, we can form administratively. This is what we need, so that it's run properly. I don't want to run by the seat of my pants. I want
So licensing,
Yes.
facilities, infrastructure, all of those things, they kind of help set that up for you for success.
Yes.
So I just wanted you to say again, the website is
It's lifehouseforme.com. Let me just make sure.
House for me. Is that a number 4 or
No.
FOR?
Yeah, it's lifehouseforyu.com.
Okay.
And we've had a glitch this week in launching that website. We're trying to get everything to where our merchant services is on there, but it should be up within the next couple of days, is what they tell me.
And for the detox, and then we'll shift over to the stepping stones. But for the detox, what are you looking for? What do you think you want the audience to hear as far as what you need to get this launched?
Right now, I believe that we can purchase the house on the property. I think we can purchase that between $350,000 to $400,000.
Okay.
And I would like to be able to pay that in cash, and then it goes. Every dime that we got that comes in goes to the rebuilding and the manufacturing, putting it all together so we can open the doors immediately. We have no overhead. Everything we raise will be to help these people that are going through the program.
And of course, you've got the mental health counseling, so there's revenue coming in to kind of help offset that.
Yeah, we've partnered with somebody that we're in the process of partnering with Towers to Tunnel. They've reached out. We're trying to get together and discuss how they can help us and we can help them. I want it to be, I don't want it to be somebody's not going to come because they can't afford it.
Right.
And so that's why it's a nonprofit. If it takes more than $3,900 to detox somebody in a week, then we can raise the money and they don't have to worry about, I can't get detox because I can't afford it. And so they stay in the bottle, and where does that end?
So, and we're talking about barriers to getting someone in. So obviously somebody might see that as a barrier, but you're removing that barrier.
Yes.
What other barriers do you see for people that have either drug addiction or alcoholism to be able to go into a detox? Anything else that stands in their way? Is it?
I think it's the way that society has acted and reacted to those. Nobody wakes up in the morning and says, I think I'm going to be a drunk the rest of my life, or I want to be a heroin addict. Things that happen to us, and the enemy's always going to tell us that we numb ourselves through medication or drugs or alcohol. And then the stigma is a drunk's always a drunk. An addict's always an addict. You know, I don't want to trust you. I want those parameters to be broken. We're here because we love you. And we're here because I see in you a small portion of what God sees in you. You know, you look at the New Testament, it was 3/4 of it was written by a guy who was in prison. Yet our stigma is if somebody's been in prison, we don't want to give them a second chance. And where do people end up? When they turn to addiction, they end up on the streets, they end up drunk, they end up high. What do? They go to jail. So now they've got this record, and with a record, how do we give them a second chance? Well, you know, he's been to the penitentiary, or he's been here, or he's been there. I want to remove that stigma. That's why we're going to work with different businesses. And you've pointed me to a couple businesses that, hey, absolutely will give somebody a second chance. And I want to put I don't want to call it a coach, I want to call it an accountability partner that will encourage them. And it's not based on what society says about you. Listen to what God says about you. And God says you are a child. It says whosoever. Well, who's the whosoever? It doesn't say whosoever that has not been to prison more than once, or whosoever has not been an addict. Truth be known, everybody's an addict. You're addicted to something. You may be addicted to pride. You may be addicted to somebody always giving you words of encouragement. When we can change the mindset of people, and they can see these people. When I go to hospitals, particularly ICUs, if there's somebody laying in that bed, I will have the family bring me a picture of that person doing something that they enjoyed doing. And I put that on the bed, and I tell the nurse, see, this is him. Because in nursing and being in that society, you see that as part of your job, not a human being. Same way with police officers. You see them as your job. And if you come into contact with them, then it must be a bad guy. And so we don't see people as humans. And society does the same thing. If you see somebody strung out on the side of the street, well, you know, that was his choice. It wasn't really his choice, it's what the world threw at him. And his mindset, that was the way to get over it or to get through it. Yeah. And we need to be helping those people to realize, to come to the truth. You know, Jesus called the enemy the father of all lies. And the father of all lies tells that person, you'll never amount to anything. You'll always be this. Why is suicide where it is? Why are our military guys committing suicide when they're getting out? Because that lie from the enemy, you will never blend into society. You'll always be this way. You might as well take your life. And I want to see that change. I want to see people with a purpose. I want to see people that there's no mistakes. God didn't make any mistakes. The Bible says we're all part of the body. One's a toe, one's a finger, one's a hair, whatever it is. You're a part of the body, and together the body works.
Yeah. All right, let's move to the stepping stones. So the stepping stones is pretty interesting because it's tiny homes. It's almost like its own little community that allows, like you mentioned, second chances, whether it be for families or veterans or whatever the case may be. Tell me a little bit about that project.
Okay. One of the things that really bothered me is we get these men and women that have served their country and gone and protected us. And then when they come back, they're living underneath the bridge. And I want to be able to give them a tiny home. I want to build this. Right now, the property we're looking at has just a railed fence around it. I want to make it secured. I want them to feel safe there. There's going to be parameters. You can't go out after a certain time period because I just want to keep the enemy outside of the place. But I've contacted two different tiny home manufacturers, and they have both said that they would sell us the homes at wholesale cost. The wholesale cost of these homes, they usually require you to buy 5 at a time. They said if you can buy 3 the first time, then you'll be locked in and you can buy 1 at a time after that. The homes will range in price, but the median is about $58,000 to $62,000. This will give them a tiny home where it is theirs. It has kitchen, bathroom, shower, bedroom. Some of them have 2 bedrooms in there, particularly if they want to bring their family, or if we get like a single mom with her children. We're going to hook it up. The electricity's already there. It's already set up on a 100 amp system. We can put tiny homes in the front half, which would be those military guys, the guys that go through the program. And on the back side, I can do homeless moms or dads. And there's already a store set up there. There is a laundromat set up there. And I want them to have purpose. This is theirs. And this is theirs to keep up. This is theirs to a stepping stone. Mm-hmm. My vision is to, once I teach budgeting, and we teach budgeting, budget says you can afford 40% of your income to go to your housing. So if you're making $2,500 a month, you can spend up to $1,000 a month in your housing. Well, I want to set, and I'm not going to charge $1,000. It'd be just enough to make sure that it's covered. But I want to be able to then, and let's just say, for instance, we charge them $600, and that includes everything: water, sewer, electricity, internet. Then at the end of 18 months, we come back and say, how are things going? Well, I've got promoted twice in my job. This is what we're doing. I've got all my bills are paid. I got a car now, and I've got this much saved up. And I know that it's going to cost this much to get my own apartment or get my own home. I want to be able, when they're ready for that stepping stone to step off into their own, and nobody knows how long that's going to take. I'm not going to set a time period of you can only live here for 18 months, you can only live here for 2 years. I'm not going to say that. When they are ready to step off into their own, I want to take part of that money that they gave as rent back to them by pouring into them, showing them that we're pouring into them to help them with the deposits, help them with the furniture that they may need to get in their own apartment. And I can't tell you how long people are going to stay. There may be people that stay the whole rest of their life there because they feel at home there and they don't feel safe anywhere else.
Well, I was going to say safe. You mentioned earlier about putting the perimeter fence around and making sure that it's a safe zone. How are you going to make sure that happens outside of the fence? Is there other items or any thoughts that you have on doing that?
Yeah, we will have security on the premises, and it may look like some of the guys that have been military guys. They can serve as security on their own
Neighborhood
community
really.
and neighborhood,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Right.
So tell them again the website, and then tell them how they can donate and help support your cause.
Okay, lifehouseforyou.com.
Lifehouseforyou.com.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so it should be up in the next week or so. Right now, I'm housing everything out of my office. I can give you an address if anybody wanted to mail.
Sure, absolutely. Go ahead and give them an address.
Okay, it's Livingstone's Church, and you can put care of Lifehouse, and it's 26605 Peden Road, P-E-D-E-N Road, and that's Magnolia, 77355.
And if you don't mind, just to close out, go ahead and give them a phone number to the church also, so in case they want to call and kind of visit with you. And then secondly, tell them a little bit about your church so they kind of understand what you do. So
The number at the church is 832-521-3444. My direct line to my office is 281-687-5880. A little bit about me: I'm a retired police officer. I was life flighted off at Jensen. I was medically retired. I went ministry full time, and it's been such a blessing. I've been at Livingstone's now. I'm starting my 7th year. God is doing some great things there. We do believe in community, and we do believe in discipling. We do have a daycare there now, and
And you do support the chamber. I met you at a chamber event.
that's
so,
right.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, it's all about community. You know, God put a church in a community not so that the community could bless the church, but that the church could bless the community.
That's powerful.
And I'm gonna tell you this too. I'm very proud of the people that God has sent us. We've given away 6 cars to single moms or families. I can't tell you how many electric bills we've paid for, but it's given back. And we did have one of the larger diaper pantries in the area, and we've had people come during the time they were in school to try to get a career. They got their diapers for their babies, and this was a single mom through us. When she graduated, she got a good paying job, and 4 months after her good paying job, she came back with 2 cases of diapers
Oh, wow.
to donate back.
So it reciprocates,
Yeah.
coming back. That's
Yeah, and
that's
we
good.
partner
That's
with
good.
the Tomball Pregnancy Assistance Center. They've sent us people that have needed diapers, and we every VBS we take canned goods and non-perishables over to SOS, and we just have a good time. It's all about community.
That's right. That's right. Well, thank you, Pastor Kenny, for being on. And I want to thank Southwest Montgomery County Chamber of Commerce, the Business Brief podcast, to giving you a platform to talk about that. Obviously, near and dear to me is the veterans and being able to help them and support them. And if there's anything we can do from a Texas Regional Bank standpoint, obviously we want to get engaged and want to be able to support that. So thank you for being on the show. We look forward to seeing where this goes.
Amen.
All right.
Amen.
Thank you.
Thank you.